In the ESL 1 Germany event currently running, there are a myriad of great series to watch, but the first 2 games of OG vs Alliance series were especially interesting, with some of the uncommon picks that worked well from both teams. It also goes without saying that spoilers are coming for the OG Alliance entire series, so if you want to watch the series, I'd recommend you do that before the video. Before we begin analyzing the draft, here is our question of the day. Which 2 teams would you like to see go up against each other? I'd be excited to see whether Alliance can beat Team Secret. Opening the series with the first round of bans, Alliance takes out Io and Chen. Both heroes are hard to deal with, fit OG style, and they've shown the heroes before, but I don't think they're banning these heroes specifically because of the draft they have in mind. On the other hand, OG banned Clockwork and Mars. While both are generically strong meta heroes, I find the Clockwork ban curious, as it's a hero that's strong, but others like Mirana and Earth Spirit usually enjoy more attention. Based on that, I think that this is a specific ban to protect their early picks. Right after, OG first picks Magnus. They have a history of running a support Magnus as a position 5, so now the Clockwork ban makes a lot of sense. It's really hard for a support Magnus to lane against Clockwork, and getting his ultimate off later in the game would be even more difficult. Alliance's response is Rubik, a strong lane support with a good matchup against Magnus. Practically all of his 4 abilities are valuable to steal, especially the ultimate. OG then picks PA. I don't think it mattered at all what Alliance picked here. They were probably settled on PA already as they picked the Magnus. In my mind, this solidifies both OG's plans for the game and the Magnus as a position 5 rather than a mid or off lane. But why reveal the PA so early? Not only does this give Alliance ample time to counter her laning stage, but also to pick heroes that are good against her. If we think about it for a bit, the choice isn't that strange. In order for the carry to have a good game after the laning stage, OG needs to win their other lanes to secure farm for the PA. And given how good PA late game is with Magnus's cleave to boost her farm, they aren't afraid of a bad carry matchup. So saving later picks for off lane and mid to make sure their early fighting heroes have a good game makes a lot of sense. After this, Alliance can start developing a lineup to counter PA. So how does one do that? Let's examine what PA wants to do first. Farm safe jungle camps boosted by Magnus cleave, join fights later to clean up, and win with a timing of 2 to 3 items. The best counter I can think of to that is forcing the PA out of the jungle by taking all of OG's towers early. Thus their Underlord pick makes perfect sense to me. He's a hero that just parks himself in a lane to pressure a tower and wins the lane against PA. After this, the round of 3 bans for each team starts. These bans are usually spent on banning out heroes that would ruin the plan should you show yourself with your first 2 picks. Alliance will ban heroes that are either really good at defending towers or synergize well with PA. On the other hand, OG will ban heroes that are tough for PA to deal with. We see how their bans make perfect sense from that perspective. OG bans Timbersaw, Phoenix, and Void, while Alliance bans Venomancer, Oracle, and Beastmaster. After the bans, Alliance has to pick first. They will likely want to pick up a hero aimed at dealing with PA. Either a very survivable carry or a support with strong saves or instant lockdown will work well here, so their options are quite open. They choose to go with a hard support Omni Knight to counter PA's damage output completely. This more than likely threw OG for a loop a little bit since they end up taking a significant amount of their bonus time to think about their next pick. Somehow they need to deal with Omni Knight since PA just can't accept dealing 0 damage in teamfights, but countering a position 5 by shutting down their laning stage is not a good approach either. The options are either a hero that lets them kite out fights after Guardian Angel, heavy magic damage, or dispelling the effect. I think Shadow Demon, Quaswex Invoker, Zeus, and Doom are all decent options, and they go with the Invoker pick for Topson. Now Alliance can either pick a hero that wins mid against the revealed Invoker, or triple down on countering PA. Ideally, their mid hero would do both, so who are we looking at? I'd say Pugna mid could work wonders here, but they could also pick another tanky hero like DK. Who they actually pick is Troll. He's good against PA, really good with Omni Knight in particular, but I fail to see why it's necessary to pick up the carry now since they see the mid matchup already. My theory here is that they thought the Magnus will be off lane, and so picked a carry that will win the lane in a landslide, leaving the mid pick for later. After that, OG responds to Alliance's Troll with a Tusk. This will be more likely than their position 4, since picking a core Tusk into Troll would be ambitious to say the least. Next comes the last round of bans, and my theory of Alliance thinking Magnus is core shows here. They banned Windrunner and Grimstroke, both of which mostly make sense as a position 4 or 5 in OG's lineup. Therefore, either Tusk or Mag is a core in their eyes, and I don't think Tusk offlane makes any sense here. I think OG will simply continue banning out strong lane dominators that help Alliance push. They end up banning Batrider and Necro, both of which are extremely strong laners that could play either mid or offlane. Batrider doesn't directly help pushing, but he's a hero that's good at dealing with split push due to his natural affinity towards boots of travel, so he's an excellent initiator in these kinds of lineups. Now comes the last pick, and OG has to go first. I think they're looking for an offlaner that can go up against Troll on lane, matches well with Tusk, and is good at dealing with Alliance when they're pushing. My go-to would be Venomancer, but he's been banned earlier. Shadow Demon could be a good choice, but it's fairly unorthodox and I haven't seen OG play that hero as a 3 yet. I finally settle on Snapfire as my prediction, as she fits most of what I think OG needs, as well as her Aghanims giving their support Magnus a good way to get RP out. What they actually end up picking, however, is Lina, which I think is an excellent pick even though it's really quite weird. This lane is a great pairing, just usually played with Tusk as the core. However, in this case, it makes sense for Lina to be the core. She's also extremely good at clearing waves and is fairly versatile with her items. I can imagine Seb going for more supportive items like Greaves or a Solar Crest for the PA. Alliance's response to that Lina pick is Puck. I think this hero is fairly strong here and works extremely well with Troll, providing much needed lockdown and initiation. I still think Pugna could fit a similar role, but work better given that OG has Tusk Snowball against Coil, and to my knowledge, Puck isn't favored against Invoker. Overall, even though I think Alliance's draft is very well put together, they just won't be able to show the aggression they want to show early on because their laning stage is just weaker than OG's. I think Underlord will have to show up in this game big time since I don't see either Troll or Puck doing well in their lanes respectively. Looking back at the analysis post-game, I was incorrect about a few things. First, I underestimated how good Magnus 5 could be, as OG clearly won their safe lane, even if they had to give up their tower eventually. They also started switching to a more aggressive playstyle way earlier than I expected, right around when mid-one's PA hit his Desolator timing at around minute 14. This made sense because Nico Baby opted for a Battle Fury build, which he did not have yet due to the weak laning stage, so he was very weak at the time OG started grouping up. I also missed the fact that the PA had an early Solar Crest as well as Alacrity next to the Empower, making the hero even stronger than I thought initially. Even though I think Alliance played fights exceptionally well, they just couldn't deal with OG's PA at some point. The second game's draft was interesting because it showed how quickly these top-tier teams can adapt to each other's drafts. OG brought almost the same draft across the board, but Alliance shifted their strategy by a lot. This time around, they opened with an Earthshaker, a strong but relative greedy position 4 hero. OG simply picks Magnus again, to which Alliance picks Oracle. I think they were sure that the PA is coming after the Magnus pick, so they drafted these two heroes to deal with that. OG, however, picks up Tusk as their second pick, giving Alliance the opportunity to ban out PA. A curious choice, but they can run the same type of lineup with many different heroes, such as Sven or Ricky as well. The bans from OG stay very similar, but Alliance this time around bans heroes to protect their Oracle pick. Furion and Tusk pairing would be a lane Oracle can't win with, while Spectre and Ricky are both good heroes with Magnus that can target him first easily. As their third hero, OG just picks up PA, presenting the same strategy as before. This time around, Alliance responds quickly with a Pugna, a hero I thought was good in game 1. OG draft the Invoker regardless, probably looking for the Dispel against Decrepify and a good Solar Crest hero to buff the PA as well as Alacrity. Alliance quickly picks up Morphling, an excellent carry against PA, and a great combo with Earthshaker. I expect this hero to do extremely well even if Thompson's Invoker rushes a Spirit Vessel, since he will more than likely go Manta into Aghanims as his items anyways. Therefore, OG's last pick has to be a strong hero against the Morphling. Alliance follow it up by banning Lina as well as Ancient Apparition, two heroes that can make Morphling's life very hard. As their last pick, Alliance is definitely looking for a frontliner that can take towers, much like Underlord, who was unfortunately banned out by OG. They end up picking DK, another hero I thought was strong in the last match as well. OG's last pick is their offlaner again, showing how important they think their laning stage is with the strategy. They need a hero that's good against Morphling and Oracle, wins the lane against Morphling, and pairs well with Tusk. My first thought was instantly Silencer, as that would be my choice of support for this game, but I wasn't sure whether Seb plays it as an offlaner. To my surprise, they ended up picking it. Despite the genius Silencer pick at the end, I vastly prefer Alliance's draft overall. I think they responded to OG's strategy extremely well and will take this game without issues. They fixed their weak laning stage and the reliance on a hero who is easy to kite, making the PA an easier target. After the match, looking back at my analysis, the Silencer pick vastly underperformed. I expected the Silencer Tusk lane to dominate. Instead, Nico Baby got a lead early on and never lost it. When I saw how good of a game the Morphling has with no real counters on OG's side, I knew that they were in for a rough game. Everything else went somewhat close to expected, resulting in a convincing victory by Alliance. In Game 3, either because Alliance showed that they can beat OG's strategy, or maybe because Magnus got banned out, OG goes back to a lineup centered around Arc Warden that they've shown before. Alliance picks 2 strong lane supports and 3 cores that are all good against Arc Warden: Void, Zeus, and Furion. Alliance does well in the laning phase, wins some key early fights, and ends up snowballing the game out of control relatively early. That's all for today, and I hope you found the analysis of the drafts interesting. There's a lot to be learned from how pros approach their drafts, even if you can't copy these strategies in your pubs directly. Would you like to see us analyze more drafts from running tournaments in the future? Leave your opinion in the comments section, and I will see you next time.